Hello everyone, I'm Swati Jadhav, Assistant Professor from Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, Pune. So today we are going to start with the important programming language that is nothing but Java, and this is our first class. So let's move on. So we will start with the introductions to Java. So first topic we will this is first lecture. So today we will have the discussion about the types, variables and operators in Java. So as you know that a computer is having memory, then central processing unit, and it is having input output device. Okay, input output device, you know, the keyboards and the mouse and the screen. For input will be you can give through the keyboard, and output will be visible on the screen monitor. Then whatever input you are giving to the central processing unit through the program, it will working on this. That is the set of instructions you will be giving. That is nothing but program which will be get computed by CPU. But again, it will require some storage, and where that the values values for the variables and the data will get stored, that is nothing but in the memory. So central processing unit will be having the interaction with the memory, and it will, once it is computed, it is stored, it will return back the output what it is output, and that output is again throw back to the input output device, and it will get visible on the output screen. In this way the computer works, right? Then how the CPU, so how you can uh, interact with the communicate with the CPU. So in this way, the read location X, read location Y, add write to the location Z. If you want to write a simple Z is equal to X plus Y, these 5 lines you need to write as a CPU instructions for the CPU, right? But of course, yes, it's not very easy to write the your whole solutions to the problem in form of the CPU instructions. It's quite difficult, and it will be quite lengthy and complicated. So that's why we move on the programming languages, right? So easier, what is the programming languages? Easier to understand than CPU instructions? Yes, of course, it is easy. Needs to be translated for the CPU to understand it, right? But whatever programs you will be writing through the application level language, that can be C, C++, Java, Python, but it will not be understood by the CPU. So someone has to be translated it into the language which will be understood by your CPU, right? So Java. Then we will move on the next Java. So mainly focus is to learn a Java, right? So what we can say about the Java? It is most popular language. It's run on virtual machine, that is nothing but JVM, J for the Java Virtual Machine. More complex than some, right? Example, Python. It is more complex. Python is very simple language, right? But it is more complex than the Python. But again, it will be having uh, it will be having its own beauty inside it. That's why still many of the industries are um, developing their projects with the help of the first language is Java. For them, first language is Java. Then simple than the others, that is nothing but C++. So this is compiling Java. So here, first you will be writing your code into simple any editor. It can be Notepad, any editor you can have. And but what makes it different from other file? Through the extension. So your source code should, that file should save with the extension .java. Then the Java file dot extension Java file, you need to give to the Java compiler. That is nothing. The name of the compiler is Java C. And then after that, the output of the compilation will be the bytecode, and that will be saved with the extension dot class. So that bytecode file is nothing but your dot class file, and that dot class file, that bytecode is given to the interpreter, and the name of the interpreter is Java, and then that interpreter will execute the Java dot class file. Okay, so let me tell you here, the we can say the features of Java. So Java is like other language. Java is two-stage language. Why it is called as two-stage language? Because uh, directly, if you are giving .java file to the compiler, it will not get executed directly, right? Instead of that, it is divided into two steps. First, it will be giving to the compiler, where compiler will not give you machine language code which will be understood by your machine as it is. Instead of that, it will be giving you the byte code, right? And then that bytecode is given to the Java interpreter. The name of the Java interpreter is Java. So the first step is compilation, second step is the interpretation, and this makes Java more portable. Okay, this makes Java platform independent. Write once, execute anywhere. These are the features of the Java. So then let's move on to the next topic, that is how you can write your first Java program, right? Quite exciting. The prerequisite for this is you should know at least one language. You should familiar with the at least one programming language. Let it be, it can be Python, it can be C, it can be C++, but one should have the programming background. So in our first program, so how you can write the Java program? You need to write a class. So class will be keyword here, which you need to write as it is. Then name of the class, and this is user defined. This can be called as identifier. And here you have to remember one thing, that the name of the class should begin with the capital letter. And this file, this code, piece of code, we are saving with the dot java extension. So name of the file should be class name. So can you tell me what will be the my class name here? Yes, so it will be hello, the capital H, hello dot java. Then opening bracket, this is a syntax, okay? You need to remember the syntax. Then public static void main. Then in bracket, you need to write string arguments, okay? Then opening bracket and closing bracket for this void main function, and this closing bracket for hello. So in coming lectures, we will discuss about what is the public access specifier, what is the use of that, what is mean by static keyword over here. And you must aware that what do you mean by void? Yes, void is a it is here, it is return type. It this method, the main is the method. The another name you may know that the methods are called as functions, right? So this is a function, this is a method. So main, it will return nothing. The void, the meaning of void means it will not return anything, right? Main, and in bracket string arguments. In Java, if you want the array, so array, the string is nothing but this is one of the data type in Java, and the name of string variable is arguments. But you will find here that square bracket is there. So square bracket is nothing but it's mean that it is a collection of something. Again, we are going to discuss in detail what do you mean by arrays, how you can create array. That is another part. Okay. Then this is a basic syntax. You have to follow it. Then what is the use of main method? Main will tell the compiler where to start the execution. Okay, so program execution begins here. So whatever statement you want to execute, you need to put that statement inside a main block. So opening this void main opening and curly bracket will tell you the uh, starting of main block and ending of the main block. So whatever statement you will be writing in this main block will get executed. Okay, so the task of main is to start the execution of your program. Then what we have written here, system dot out dot println. Again, let me tell you students, we will discuss this each and every word in detail, but you have to be very patient about this. Okay, because this is at the latter side, but for the timing, what you need to remember here, this is a structure of your Java program. Okay, this you have to and for what purpose you are using it. If you want to print something on a screen, then you need to use system.out.println, and whatever things you will be putting inside a brackets, right, inside a parenthesis, that will get printed on a screen, on a monitor as it is. Okay, what do you mean by as it is? If you have put in double quote, means that it will be string literal, that will get displayed on a screen as it is. But if you are displaying the value of variable, the value of variable will get displayed. Okay, not name of the variable, then hello world will get displayed on a screen. Okay, this is a template. So what you have understood here, program structure. What is a program structure? Class is a keyword which you have to use, the name of the class. Then you have to write public static void main, string arguments, opening bracket, and whatever statement you want to write, in the main block. Okay, the number of statements you can write which you want to execute. This is a program structure of Java. Then output, if you want to print some output on output console, then you need to use system.out.println, and in bracket whatever you want to print. Some string might you want to print on a string on a output console, that will get display on a output console. So here example is given, system.out.println, and in quotes I have written output. So can you tell me what will be get display on a screen? Yes, that output string will get display on a screen. Okay, what you have observed here, that the S is capital, system S is capital. Okay, O is small, P is small. So let me tell you, Java is case sensitive. Okay, what do you mean by case sensitive? If you write here small s, it will give you an error. Okay, so why one should write system ka s capital, that we will discuss in later, but for the timing you need to remember system.out.println is used to print something on a screen. Okay, then second program. So here we have created another class. The name of the class is hello2. Then of course the class is open through the curly bracket. Then you need to write public static void main. In bracket I have written string arguments. I have opened that main method. In the main method I have written, in main block I have written two statement which I want to print as it is on a screen. What message I want to print here? hello world, and then line number 2. This message I want to print on a screen. So what do you have to use here? System.out.println the message, whatever message, in double quote. Then again, if you observe here, the statements are ending with the semicolon. Again, this you need to remember. In Java, the statements, the program statements are ended with the semicolon. Okay, then system.out.println line number 2. So this semicolon. So what will be the output of this code? On a output console, you will get hello world line number 2. Okay, so then next again. So types, what are the data types? Okay, in Java. So types are kinds of values that can be stored and manipulated. Okay, you are aware of the data types in another language, but we will discuss over here what are the data types in Java. So here we are having Boolean, which will contain two values, either true or false. Here we have having integer, which will be represented as the keyword int. So it's 0, 1 and minus 47. Negative number, negative numbers are also included. Then double is nothing but your real numbers. The floating point number 3.14, 1.0. These are the examples, right? These are the examples. Then string, again we are having the string data type, which is nothing but text. Okay, so hello examples are the example of string. Then so the next is variables. Okay, what do you mean by variables? So variables are nothing but which varies, the variables which varies. Okay, so names, variable named location, it is named a location that store a value of a particular type. In previous slide we have discussed what are the types: integer, double, string. So how you can use the syntax, the type you need to specify in Java. It can be int, it can be double, it can be string, and the name. Here this name will be the identifier. So here you need to follow the rules for the identifier. And in short, what we can say about the rules for the identifiers, naming the identifiers, it cannot start with the digits or cannot start with the numbers and the symbols, right? It can start with the uh, letters only, letters and some special characters, right? Then um, in between it cannot have the space, and in between it um, cannot have the operators as well. Okay, so these are the naming rules for the identifiers, that again we will discuss in detail. So here you can have the examples of type, uh, the variable. So type will be your string and the name of the variable is foo. And one thing you will be observe here, you have to terminate it by the semicolon. Every statement has to be terminated with the semicolon. So what happen? The foo variable will get created of type string. But if you observe here, we have not assigned any value to the foo variable. So for the assignment purpose, you need to use the equal to sign. Okay, for the assignment you need to equal to sign. Okay, so string foo semicolon, then foo, the name, the foo is of type string, and I am assigning IAP 6.092. So can you tell me whether it is a double value or whether it is a string value? So whatever you will be putting inside a double quote, even though if it is a digits, or even though it is an integer or double value, it will get considered as a string value. So of course it is a string value. Okay, so the foo value will be IAP 6.092. So in this way you can do the assignment for the variable in Java. Assignment. So in Java, you can combine this assignment can be combined with variable declaration. Okay, examples like on the same line, you are creating a variable and you are assigning some value. So, what I have done here, double. Okay, with type double, I have created one variable of name bad pie, and I have assigning value 3.14, and of course it should get terminated by the semicolon because it is a syntactical rule of the Java. Then on next line I have created one more variable. Can you tell me which is the type of this variable? Yes, of course it is a boolean. And what is the name of the variable? Each January. So again, what value I have assigned here? As it is of type boolean, you can assign either true or false value, right? So I have assigned the true value to this variable. Again, some I have written the next program over here. The example, I have created one class. Can you tell me the name of this class? Yes, hello 3. Then I have opened that class. Then the mandatory statement, that is public static void main string arguments opening bracket. What does it mean? Whatever statement you will be writing inside this block will get executed by your interpreter. Okay, so what I have done, the first statement, I have created one variable of name foo of type string, and I have done the assignment over here, IAP 6.092 semicolon. So what will happen in memory? One block will get created with the name foo of type string and with the value IAP 6.092, right? Next line, system.out.println foo. What happened? It will print something on a screen, but what you have passed inside the brackets, you have put the foo. And what is foo? For the for this time, the foo is the variable inside a memory having the value IAP 6.092. So that will get retrieved, and that IAP 6.092 will get display on a screen. Its value will get display on a screen. My question is, if I'm putting this foo in double quote, what happened? Can you guess? Yes, that foo will get display as it is on a screen, not its value. Okay, so a lot of students are doing this mistake. You need to remember it. Then again, what I have done, foo something else. Okay, foo something else. What I have done, the initial value of foo is IAP 6.092. Again, I have override that value with something else. So foo's value will get updated. The prior value will get vanished, and the updated value of the foo is something else. And if I'm printing the value of foo again, it will print something else. So are you getting the concept of initialization and overwriting? What do you mean by initialization? The very first value you are assigning to the variable, and the overwriting means you can overwrite the values. Okay, because variables can varies. This is the variables. You can varies the uh, contents, varies the next is operators. So you know what do you mean by operators? Operators are the symbols that perform simple computations, right? It can be assignment operator, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So again, please observe the symbols over here. Multiplication is represented by the star. Assignment is equal to, single equal to, addition plus, subtraction minus, division slash. Okay, these are the representation in Java. Then next is order of operations. You need to remember the order of operations. So follow standard maths rules. Whatever you have following in maths, same rule you have to follow here. And what it is, if you are having the mathematical expression for the computation, so how in what way you are solving it? So you need to first solve the parentheses, then you will be solving multiplication and division, then you will be solving addition and subtraction. Okay, so here is the example for you. So what we have done here, we have created one class of name do math. we have opened it. The mandatory statement, that is public static void main string arguments opening bracket. So whatever statement you will be writing inside main block will get executed. What is my first statement for the execution? I have created double. What it is? It is the type. What is the score? Score is a variable of type double, and it is having some value, but it is in form of expression, right? It is in form of expression, and this you need to compute first, right? 1.0 plus 2.0 into 3.0. So what will happen? In which way it will get solved? Compute. The first is multiplication. 2.0 into 3.0, 6.0 plus 1.0. Okay, so it will be 7.0. That will get stored in a score. After this statement, in a memory, the one memory block will get created of name score of type double with value 7.0. Then what we have done on second line, second statement, system.out.println, we have print the value of score. So what value will get printed on a screen? Yes, of course, 7.0. And again, what we have done, we have used that score value. Okay, what will happen? The score value is get override. By which value? For this, you need to compute this expression, score divided by 2.0. So the previous value for the score value is 7.0 divided by 2.0, and this whatever value will be there, that will get override in score variable. As it is a variable, you can update, you can vary the content. Then you are printing the updated value of the score, system.out.println score. Again here we have we will discuss one more example. The name of the class is do math 2. Then you have written the void main function, and number of statements you have written in void main that will get executed. The first statement is you have created a score. The score value you have printed on the screen. Again you have created one more variable of name copy, and what you have done, you have assigned which value? The score value to the copy. So now copy contains 7.0. Then what you have done? Copy, you are overwriting here with the values copy by 2.0. So it's 7.0 slash 2.0, whatever it is, that will get overwrite in copy variable, and that updated values you are displaying over here. So again, if you are having the question that how I can store the original value, so you need to create a copy. So here score will not get updated, the score value will remain 7.0. Instead of that, the copy value will get updated. Okay, sorry. Then next is operators. We have order of operations, we have done do math, string concatenation, right? For the string concatenation, what do you mean by string concatenation? Combining two string together. So it is represented by the plus. Okay, so how you can do it? So can you tell me what it is? So you have created one variable of name text with type string, right? And what value you are assigning here? Hello, concatenating with the word. And on next line, if I printing system.out.println text, what will get printed on the screen? Yes, hello world. Then what I am doing here? Again, I am overwriting text with which value? The text value, what it is? Hello world plus number. Hello world number. Number will get concatenated plus 5. plus 5. Okay, is something wrong here? Okay, so that 5 should be also in quote. Okay, 5 should be also in quote. So what will be the value of text hello world number 5? Okay, then your assignment after listening this topic, your assignment is gravity calculator, compute the position of falling object, and here the equation is given. Might this concept you have studied in, I think, physics, right? So by using all the concept which we have learned, you need to solve this problem. Okay, so by the next lecture you have to uh, bring, for the next lecture you need to bring this solution for the same. Okay, thank you all. If you like this video, you can subscribe the channel and you can like this video. Thank